Okay, flashcards. Talking today how to make good flashcards and what a good flashcard looks like, what a bad flashcard looks like. Flashcards are the second best way to study after exam questions and past paper questions, and I recommend them in every subject. So from English to maths to science to geography, whatever you're doing, flashcards are incredible. Now, how are we going to write our flashcards? Before we talk about that, we need to know what a flashcard should look like. So there are two areas to a flashcard and what they should look like. The first area is the flashcard's theme, okay? So the flashcard's theme has to be about a certain area. So one mistake I see everyone make with flashcards is they are too general and vague. So a theme can't just be like biology. It has to be what area of biology. So let's take an example. In med school, let's say I have to learn about pneumonia, okay? My theme is pneumonia. So I've identified my theme, and now I need to make the flashcard short. So people forget flashcards are designed for memory, not for understanding and explaining things. So I'll say that again. Flashcards are for memory, not for understanding and explaining things. So that's why they need to be sweet and short. An example then of a flashcard I might use would be, what is an antibiotic given in pneumonia, like community-acquired pneumonia? And then I will say amoxicillin. I'm not explaining why that's an antibiotic. I'm not explaining how that works. I'm just saying that for memory, because in learning, you need memory. Another one might be, when did this war start? And you give a date, which is why they're incredible for subjects like history. It's also really good in sciences because you need to know certain things. So they need to be thematic and short. So a really bad flashcard would be one that says, what is the process of this? And you explain this really long process and you just memorizing and regurgitating it. A better way of learning long, lengthy processes would be a theme called blurting, which is when you have to type it out yourself and explain it yourself, or teaching other people. That's a better way of learning long-winded concepts. So for long things you want to learn, you need to do blurting, or you want to be doing a method, I think it was the Feynman technique or Feynman technique, which is explaining it to others. Okay, so you want to be doing one of them two things. You want to be in long-term things. So a good flashcard then. Let's write one out now. Let's do one for something like biology, okay? So what is the powerhouse of the cell? This is a simple memory one. We don't need to explain it. Answer on one side. Other side is the mitochondria. That's simple because it's just memory. You're not trying to understand anything, which is why I say flashcards are an incredibly good technique, but they're not the best technique. The best technique is past paper questions because you have to actually understand them. So flashcards are really good for that. So a terrible one would be explain the events, I don't know, leading up to World War II. It's too general, too vague. Like, there's a million and one things that happened before then. So you could say, what date did this exact thing happen before World War II? Rather than saying, what are the dates that lead up to World War II? It's too general and vague. So you're going to have this enormous back on the flashcard, and that's not what flashcards are for. That's what past paper questions are for. So write flashcards with clear themes. So know your theme, as in this part of World War II, this part of biology, this part of the cell, this part of pneumonia, and then make it short and sweet. Maximum 3 lines, maximum. If you want to be doing longer things, blurting and the Feynman technique, but then also past paper questions would work for you. Okay, we've gone over good flashcards and we've gone over bad flashcards. Now, I should mention, when you make the flashcards, you are not studying, okay? I was going to say that again. When you make the flashcards, you are not studying. The studying comes in when you actually flip over the flashcards. Look at one side. What is the powerhouse of the cell? Look at the other side. Oh, it's the mitochondria. What a surprise. That is when the studying comes in. If you're just writing flashcards and study them once or twice, you're wasting your time, okay? Just writing your own flashcards is okay, but you actually learn them by studying them. I know this sounds obvious, but people love to write them because it feels productive. Actually studying them when they're bored at the desk flipping through them, it's boring, it's difficult to do them. That is where the studying comes in. That is the hard bit. So only actually write your flashcards if you're going to study them. In addition, there's an old saying, you should study the flashcards with the most dust on them, as in you should study the ones that you haven't reviewed the most, because the ones you don't review often are the ones you're going to forget. You need to learn and do things again and again and again and again if you want to learn them. So this is the problem, that with paper flashcards, you don't actually know which ones you're weaker on, and you'll probably just go for the deck you like more, which is why online flashcard decks like Anki, I really recommend, and I always say it's great, is a lot better because it gives you the flashcards and it forces you to answer the ones you haven't done the longest time. But that's kind of how you answer paper flashcards and write good ones and bad ones. I recommend them for every subject. I recommend them just a bit after past paper questions. And flashcards are a great technique to learn a lot of content in not a lot of time. Just remember, review them often and regularly. And that is everything. Short and sweet as always. If you've liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Share it to people if you think they'll find it useful. And that is how you write flashcards.